enemy around the Bronx now, at this very moment, is the policemen. See, they don't know how to communicate with the brothers around the area. See, they look at us as black and Puerto Ricans. Fuck that shit, man. That's what they look at us. You understand? We try to communicate with them. Come on, shut up, man. You try to communicate with them, right? And, man, you just try to talk. They just beat one of my brother's heads, man, not too long ago. 5 of them, man. 5 of them, man. And the guy ain't got no mother... Shit, no weapons, man. And then if we do something, we'll be wrong. You understand? Yes, this is a warrior thing. Yes, it is. And we're here to defend our brothers and sisters against people like them. They're very racist, man. If you're going to communicate, communicate, man. If you're going to strike at us, we're going to strike back.
Right on.
Okay. Do you feel that the truce, do you feel that the peacemaking that we saw taking place in that movie that we all watched together is solid? Like, are these guys together?
Not really.
Not really. Now, why not? If your enemy, you all said the same thing. The enemy is the establishment, the enemy is the hunkies, the enemy is the cops, the enemy is me.
I know, dig this.
Why aren't you together?
I got something. Because they started it all.
Who started it all?
The establishment. Look.
Yeah, but why are you fighting?
Wait, let me tell you.
We are depressed people. You gotta look at that.
I know, man. No, it was America, man. The day that my mother came over on that ship, man, and she came here and they pushed her in the ghetto. Maybe they pushed her because she wanted to go, or maybe because she had to go. Chances are because she had to go. Yeah. She had to do a lot. And she was harassed and fucked over and fucked over and fucked over, and they fucking over me and they fucking over them. And it's time the motherfuckers gotta stop, man. Hey, we were forced. Hey, check this out. Then again,
hey, we Puerto Ricans were forced to come here in the beginning, man. See, our parents came here to look for better jobs, man, you know, like a better improvement, because at the time, the island, you know, was fucked up, man, you know. And like they say that slogan, love it or leave it. I'll leave it if you give me the money.
You leave here.
I'll leave it. Definitely, I will. See, because I want to do something, man. They don't want... You see, I come to try to get a job. They said, well, you're going to have to get a haircut. Because, you know, the hair is not going to do the motherfucking job. It's you, not the hair. Well, you can't go because your pants. That's a lot of bullshit, man. As long as I'm wearing something, right? But they said, well, you just can't come like this, man. So, F it. I'm with my brothers, man. This is my family. I do something for them and my community. Fuck America, man.
What can you do to draw this group closer together so you get stronger, so you can deal with
communication, man. Communication. Education, too. See, like we were saying before, man, like the true educators going around, man, it's political parties like Young Lords, MPI, Black Panther Party. They're teaching true education to our brothers and sisters on what's happening now in the United States. You see? Like, it's good, like my brother said before, Lincoln and Washington. What did Lincoln do to my people? Did Lincoln free my people? No, it was Betance. Right? Was it George Washington that went out there to fight? Oh, yes, he fought against the British. He didn't fight against the Spaniards. See, there's a big difference. If we Puerto Ricans don't know that, we might as well call ourselves Americans, man. And I'm not American.
Oh, nothing, man, not even American. We don't know who we are because we're not Americans.
That's right.
We're not a state.
What would you prefer to be? What do you want to be?
Puerto Rican,
No,
man.
that's not what we want. What we are. We are Puerto Ricans. And black, you know, and we're here. Like you were talking before as far as the establishment. You know what? America, period. When they went to Puerto Rico, they told us, America is beautiful. America, land of opportunity.
Streets of gold.
You know, and they said, America. They put America so nice and so big. It was a beautiful dream. And when we came on those banana boats, like, you know, and we came to the United States, America, land of opportunity, and we looked at the ghettos, the way they pushed us into the ghettos because they didn't give us jobs, they bought us. It was like a damn nightmare. I'm talking about this.
You want to go back?
You know what? Why not? You know what? Que viva Puerto Rico libre. That's the way I feel.
When you go back, what's going to happen to your black brothers that you've now made an association with and you're beginning to build?
As soon as we liberate Puerto Rico, they all could come to Puerto Rico. That's the way I feel about it. We told the Yankees, leave the island. The same way you came, leave it. You know, as soon as we're liberated and we're fighting for our goals, you know, we're pushing, we're all striving for the same thing, man. We are depressed people, like I said once before.
Is there any thought that you know you young people have of maybe beginning some kind of alternative to a school that you don't feel comfortable in?
right on, man.
Well, how would you describe it? Could anybody describe it?
Describe what?
Describe a school that you might want to start. What would you study?
Any school in this country, I won't want to be in.
Why not?
Because I wouldn't.
Why?
I wouldn't. When has a school ever taught me that that one time in my country there were Indians, like Taino Indians? You know where I learned that? I learned that from Benji. You understand? I learned it from him. When has any school ever taught me, you understand, that at one time, you understand, I'm like what you would say, I'm a mixed race with an African. I never knew that. You understand? Never.
Did you have to find that out around the block?
Yes, I did. I mean, listen, if I was still be in school, I wouldn't know that right now. I don't believe in this school system. And let me tell you, I'm 20 years old, and I know a lot. Understand? For my age, I know a lot. And where did I learn it? In the streets. Because the school couldn't do nothing for me. That's all I got to say.
Tony, the school is completely irrelevant to our young people. The schools have failed them from the time they go in. By the time they're in second grade, they're already behind. And they feel completely alienated to a system that's dealing with a middle-class type of teaching. And it's not relevant to their lives, to what's happening in their communities. So they are completely turned off. How could you blame them when they begin to throw rocks and break windows and run amok and fight amongst each other? If the schools themselves have failed them, and we do not have sufficient teachers of our own to be in those schools so that they could perhaps look up to.
Well, Manny, you are a teacher at PS 133. How do you explain the fact that you have been able to relate to young people in the way that you do when other teachers may not be able to do that? Or do you feel that you are alone in the kinds of ways that you can relate?
No, there are other teachers that relate to the guys here. I'm sure they can tell you the names of a few other people that they've talked to.
Well, what made you begin to think that you had to move out of the classroom to deal with kids that were not there in the schools?
Because most of the kids were outside the school. The brightest, most powerful kids were outside the school. Shouldn't call them kids, but the best minds were outside the school, and I'm concerned with reaching the best minds. And if they're outside the school, that's where you have to go.
If the best minds are outside of the school and some of the best energies, what do you think we ought to do in order to utilize these energies towards some good for everybody?
Well, I think you ought to talk to them and figure out what they want from you, and then serve them as best you can.
Well, what do you want?
What do we want? Why don't you get up and say something?
Well, listen, you're talking about school and education. That's pretty nice, right? And everybody should get education, great. But let's look at it. The problems we got in the South Bronx, like right now. I got a little kid here, and he's my nephew. His name is Luis Melendez. And like right now, we got a problem in school. The kid can't write or read, and he's 11 years old. And right now, because he can't meet up to their standards, they want to kick him out of school, man. And there's one thing that we're going to protest. If we got to sit in, if we got to take over the school, if we got to go out there and bash, something into their head, because they talk about understanding. How the hell can they understand when they got 35 kids in a classroom and one teacher's going to put a little bit of psychic energy into one kid, like him? I mean, now they want to send him to a 600 school, and I think that's pretty bullshit. You know what? We got to work with the problem in the South Bronx, in our community, like the school. I guess if the teacher will take a little bit more effort, because their job is from 8 to 3. After 3, the hell with the kids. I'm getting paid. I'm getting a salary. You know what? So what? I go into a classroom and I look at 35 kids. If they make their homework, I don't care. If they do, I still get paid twice a month. You know what? This is what we're talking about. We're talking about the kids. You know what? Because the coming up generation is around us, and they're 12, 13, 14 years old, and this is one thing we got to deal with. My point is to bring it across to the people that are watching us right now. We got a horrifying problem with the youth in the South Bronx, and the biggest problems come from school, from lack of education. If they don't get no kind of motivation, something they can push for, like their goals, right now you ask one of these kids, what are your goals? What do you want out of school? Well, I want to get me a job in a factory. I want to get me this. I guess as a teacher, they were putting all their psychic energy, or at least they were putting half of their energy into these kids. They could say, well, I want to be a teacher. You know what? I want to be a scientist, but no, they don't. They want to drop out because they don't see nobody really reaching out for them, helping them out, man. And this is something that is a problem, and not only in the South Bronx, but in the majority in New York, in the ghettos, because the teachers, well, the Board of Education are not pushing hard enough, man.